We got more Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra trailers, and these are all character spotlights. I'm super excited to see the new characters. As you can see at the top of the screen with the title, this is Baby Young Body character spotlight. So, doesn't look like it's Super Baby 1 or 2 because it says Young Body, so it's not Baby Vegeta at all. This is just straight up the young body of Baby, like the gray dude. I'm super excited for Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. If you are, let me know in the comments down below. So far, out of all the characters you've seen or the characters in the previous playtest that they might not have announced with the spotlights yet, who are you most excited to play? Me. So far, honestly, First Form Frieza looks sick. I'm gonna have to try him out when this game comes out. And let me know if you want to see gameplay videos of this when this drops and when the network testing is out, and I'll probably do some there. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, drop a sub to the channel, and I will give commentary over these videos whenever I feel like it, basically. So if you want to see these without it, just come over here to the YouTube channel, check it out. But when you're here, I'll give my opinions and what I think. So let's get into it.
Peggy 12.
I'm excited to see what Baby is about here because he wasn't in the previous one. I do wonder if he can actually take control of people. Oh, it looks like he can. He's 18, so it looks like he can just take over people's bodies. Okay.
Now you will serve me.
Okay.
Into the trap.
And then they perish afterwards. Okay.
I shall have my vengeance, Saiyan.
And he is an AoE, of course. I guess all characters are going to be doing that pretty much. He looks like he hits a lot of enemies. He's a tank. Oh. His possession. Okay. Turn this down a little bit. And then he can just use their skills. Some of their skills. Okay. AoE, yeah, that looked like that has a wide range. That would be good for like 3 enemies. Energy explosion. Like another AoE. Covers a lot of ground, slows you down though. Oh. Can possess allies. Definitely seems like an interesting tank for sure. I feel like that would be more of a technician character, but some things I really liked. I think the possession thing is cool. We'll see how that works in the game. Also, he has a lot of AoE damage, it looks like, as a tank. I guess that makes sense. Well, you're a tank, right? So you're going to be going up against a lot of people, so, or at least taking a majority of damage. If you can, you know, AoEs are going to be effective against, like, the bots, too, that are on the map. If you're hitting an enemy and you defeat a bot at the same time and get more, like, XP or whatever it's called, that could be pretty useful. I think this one looks really cool. And again, that looks like that covers a lot of ground. All of his moves cover a lot of ground. You have this one, you have the explosion that takes up like this whole area. He looks like he's a pretty cool character. Baby's not my favorite character ever, so I'm not really going to be excited to play him, but he looks like he has some cool mechanics on him. So let's move over to the next one in a few seconds. For you, it'll be instant. For me, it's a few seconds. All right. So the next one we have is Zamasu. This was one in the character playtest that you could have played the first time they had this game for like a beta as it was released. So I've seen him. I actually did not play him at all. If I played Tank, I played Vegeta and I played Goku, and I don't remember any other characters that I played other than Vegeta and
Peggy
Goku,
12.
but hopefully this is interesting. Put it down to 10. I did see that he was pretty decent. So I'm pretty sure he is a tank, right? Because would make sense because this is like an immortal character in the actual show. Yep, I remember seeing that. Has like a revive, basically.
I'm immortal.
Yep.
Vile sinners. My justice will be your end.
Yep. Very large area.
Save creation from the scourge of mortal kind.
He has a lot of cool moves. Tank, body regen. Yep. Just regens his HP. Which is pretty useful on a tank. The longer you can stay alive, the more you're doing your job. It moves okay. A quick little AoE that covers a good amount of space and does continuous damage, bleed damage, some would call it. And his ult, yeah, that is pretty useful if you use that. So that's the end of that one. So if you use that, plus you have other scales, you can very much guarantee destroy people, make them perish. I won't say the other word because that might affect the algorithm, but it's a good ult. I mean, all the alts are pretty good because that's they're alts. It takes a lot of time to get it. Yeah, and it looks very good too. I think all the visuals in this game are fantastic from everything that I've seen. And I'm super excited to play this. It looks pretty good. His one move, I think his Divine Rush isn't that good, but his passive with body regen again as a tank, you're gonna want to stay alive the most if you don't know if you're new to this kind of game. Your role as a tank is to take damage and stay alive. That's basically it. You're not really there to be a damage dealer, but there are tanks that can deal damage, and like Vegeta, for example. When I was using him, I was ended up with the most amount of eliminations on the team. But again, I was probably playing against bots and with bots, so it might not be as impressive, but ending up with the most amount of eliminations on the team, plus also never having my HP get to 0 or perishing, as some call it, is the goal. So him having body regen with that little bar that you saw right here, you can show it. You can see it, so it doesn't go up until this starts going down, and then it starts replenishing. And then it looks like after you take a certain amount of damage, or it takes a certain amount of hits or whatever, it stops, and then you stop regenning. So, but he looks like he has some cool tech. This is not like the craziest move, but it's a quick, fast attack that's gonna be used against like one person. You can hit two people, and they're moved. Them getting moved is pretty useful if they're like on the point and you need them off the point. So you'll do damage and move them off the point, which is pretty good. And again, he has an AoE that does bleed damage. Depending on how much the bleed damage does or how much the AoE does, it could be good. It could also be really bad because if you do it and the bleed doesn't do anything, or the initial attack doesn't do anything, and the bleed doesn't do anything, then it's not really that useful. But again, this is a tank character, so as long as you can stay alive, eat a lot of damage, and not be a bad teammate, you'll be pretty good on tank. So overall, pretty cool. He has a lot of good looking moves. I'm a fan of this. Let's move on to the next one after we watch his ult, which again I said earlier, as you see him, he makes him move really slow, and you gain immune to all, which I'm sure is gonna be useful if you're on like the last point, like the very end, like the where the Dragon Ball is. If you use this, you get immune to all. Then you have a movement speed down, and then you just get rid of the enemy team. You're gonna be good, and I'm sure this is gonna fall. Words. This is gonna affect multiple people. So if your teammates are with you and it doesn't affect them, and the enemies are in this, but they're affected, you're gonna be at a significant advantage for sure. Let's move on to the next one again. Cool character. I didn't play him in game. I did see him on my team and on the other team a few times. He does look cool. Looks pretty decent. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, the next one is Super Oob, which I'm pretty sure the English translation was like Majub, which doesn't really make that much sense, is what I've heard. And Super Oob is like the direct translation, so we'll go with Super Oob. I've never been a huge Oob fan, Majub, Super Oob fan, whatever. But we'll see. I definitely like Boo more, so we'll see how he's looking. I didn't see any
Payday
of his
12.
attacks, but I know he has some cool looking attacks in the show and in Dokkan and
Goku
Legends.
made me strong, so I could make things
So let's
right.
see. He has like a ranged basic attack that can always be useful. Oh, and it looks like, hold on, and they just fly back and forth. That's pretty cool. Yeah, just the key blast just going back and forth is pretty cool. Like a get off me. Okay, and more. He has a lot. It looks like he has a lot of tech with his key blast going back and forth. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty cool.
Them a fight they'll never forget.
This is ult. Damage. Make use of Cyclone Power, which was his Key Blast. Yep, that were going back and forth. Okay. And we saw it keeps going out and keeps coming back and keeps attacking. Nice. Uses your Cyclone Power, looks like. Okay. And his ult. It's like a Kamehameha, basically. And turns him into candy. Hold on. Or ice cream. And then what does it do? Spend all stored Cyclone. Okay. Damage increases based on Cyclone amounts. So you'll want to use this when you have a high Cyclone count. And you gain Cyclone, you hit enemies, and enemies below a certain image HP will be inflicted with candy status. And my guess is you can eat that and or attack them or whatever, and you heal. I'm not exactly sure how that works, obviously, but they didn't even say it. So he has a lot of cool looking moves. His Cyclone gauge or whatever is going to be probably his main part of his kit, and I'm guessing is going to be his main form of damage buff. So the more Cyclone you have, the more damage you're going to be doing. And I'm also just guessing you're going to have certain buffs when you have the Cyclone versus when you don't. And I'm also guessing that you're going to be wanting to use your moves when you have more Cyclone than when you don't have more Cyclone, when you have less Cyclone. So, interesting character. This guy looks like he's going to have a lot of tech to him. Probably just based off of this, again, these are just like the spotlights. So, it's hard to say exactly what kind of play style, but this is probably going to be a harder character to use, but the payout is going to be higher, is my guess. Again, you're going to have to really be paying attention to your Cyclone, and you need to know when to use what moves. And again, it seems like it's going to be heavily dependent on how much damage you do, and you're a damage class, so how much damage you do when you have your Cyclone up. So you're going to need to be paying attention to your Cyclone for sure. Okay, voice crack, nice. Let's go to the next one. Another looks pretty good. Again, I'm not a big Oop fan, so not gonna be like my favorite character, but we'll probably try out every character on release. If I end up actually liking this game, I did like when I played it on the playtest. So hopefully I do end up liking this game. I need a new Dragon Ball game to play. I might hop back on Sparking Zero a little bit, but let's go on to the next one. Okay, this last one is Krillin. I've seen Krillin. He's been in the game. I've beaten him a lot of times when it was a bot or a real person. But let's look at his spotlight. You know, I didn't look at all
Peggy
his
12.
details, but I have played against him and had him on my team a few times. So hopefully he's
Right,
pretty good.
come on, I'm ready. Yeah!
Yep. Some dodge.
100 times solar flare!
Solar
Did
flare.
you see that?
Yeah, I've gotten hit by that
Parents gonna
before.
be watching. Gotta show off my cool side.
The scatter.
It's all over.
Destructo disc. Yep, I've seen that
I'm
before.
not a pushover, you know.
He has a lot of AoE effect with that. The technical character, blind enemies, set traps. That makes sense. Okay. Lower your own cooldown. It's gonna be huge. Ah, it becomes invisible. Ah, I didn't see anybody use that because it was invisible. That makes sense. That's gonna be what you're gonna want to be using, I'm guessing, a lot. The solar flare. I've been hit with the solar flare, and it hurts my eyes to look at on screen. Destructo disc covers a lot of area in front of you, like almost all your screen. Again, he looks like an interesting character, and I never saw that because I didn't play him. I did not realize that he has invisibility on his some of his moves. I didn't realize he had traps, but he sets energy balls. It's going to be important to put these on like either before you're about to fight. Is actually what I would say. You'd want to put this before you fight somebody, and then you get just free damage on them because they don't know where they are, but you have to put them in spots that the enemies are going to go. So putting them in choke points, stuff like that, it's going to be pretty useful. I mean, this guy looks pretty good. This isn't like a character I'd like to play if I choose a technician or whatever they're called, technical characters. just off of pure visuals off of this, I'd probably choose Frieza. But this guy looks pretty cool. Um, yeah, with that invisibility, solar flare, I did get hit by that. It is really hard to see with that, so it's a good like you actually can't see anything on your screen. Usually, whenever I got hit with the solar flare, I just went backwards. So you don't really want to waste your abilities unless they're right in front of you. So if you get hit with the solar flare and then you just throw the ability right where the enemy would be, that's pretty effective. Otherwise, you just go like back up or dodge out of the way or something like that. Usually, you don't want to stand in one spot when you get solar flared because then you can't see and they know you're there. So that doesn't end up well. But Skinnergy had a way. This didn't seem too good when I was going up against it, so maybe it got a buff. We'll see. And his Keon's on or Destructo Disc. It didn't show it. That as like that takes up a lot. It is like more than half of your screen, and it's going this way too. So it's not like you throw it down in the center and it covers everything here, but you do it and it goes in this direction. It is pretty good. Um, can penetrate walls too, so that's an important factor. And it says if the enemy hero is marked, the attack will pursue them. So you want to make sure you're marking enemies with debuffs, and it does extra damage. That's pretty good. Okay. So yeah, that's all of the new character spotlights that we've gotten. I'll probably make some more videos on more ones when they drop. But again, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, drop us up the channel, and again, let me know down below in the comments if you're going to be playing Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. And with that, I'm out.